In magazines, they say women's got allure, or so they call it. But it's more like being on a stick with this, or a string, a fisher of men, a fisher of henchmen. The formal writing problem, frankly, is that the bait can't write the story. The bait ain't even barely alive. There's a weird German tradition that the fish turned the tables and rewrote the story to punish the fishermen. But you know it's a lie. It's some writer of fiction being what became known as a modernist, but before that was called outright a smartass. And the fish still ain't bait unless it's eviscerated and bleeding. I just can't risk it now. But if I was a man, I could close my eyes, I'm sure, at night. I'd close them. I'm sure. I don't think my hands would shake. I don't think so. We're not so much. We're not all the time. We're not without reason. There's no reason now anyone can see. My breasts wouldn't bleed as if God put a sign on me. Blessing or curse, it draws flies. Tears of blood fall from them. They weep blood for me because I'm whatever it is. The girl, as they say politely, the girl. You're supposed to make things up for books, but I'm afraid to make things up because in life everything evaporates. It's gone and mist, just disappears. There's no sign left except on you. And you're a fucking invisible ghost. They look right through you. You can have bruises so bad the skin's peeled off you and they don't see nothing. You bet women had the vapors. Still do. It means it all goes away in the air. Whatever happened, whatever he did, however he did it. And you're left feeling sick and weak and no one's going to say why. It's just women. They faint all the time. They're sick all the time. Fragile things. Delicate things. Delicate like the best punching bags you've ever seen. They say it's lies. Even if they just did it. Or maybe especially then. I don't know, really. There's nothing to it. No one ever heard of it before, or ever saw it, or not here, or not now. In all history, it never happened. Or if it happened, it was the Nazis. The exact particular Nazis in Germany from the 30s and 40s. The literal Nazis in uniform. When they were out of uniform, they were just guys, you know. They loved their families. They paid off their whores, just regular guys. No one else ever did anything. Certainly no one now. In this fine world we have here, certainly not the things I think happened. Although, I don't know what to call them in any serious way. You just crawl into a cave of silence and die. Why are there no great women artists? Some people got nerve. Blood on cement, which is all we got, in my experience. Ain't aesthetic. Although I think boys someday will do very well with it. They'll put it in museums and get a fine price. Won't be their blood. Won't be some cunts they whispered to the night before a girl, and then it'd be art, you see. Or you could put it on walls. Make murals, be political, a democratic art outside the museums for the people, Diego Rivera without any conscience whatsoever, instead of the very tenuous one he had with respect to women, and then it'd be extremely major for all the radicals who would discover the expressive value of someone else's blood. And I want to tell you they'd stop making paint, but such things do not happen, and such things cannot occur any more than the rape so-called can happen, or occur, or the being beaten so bad can happen, or occur. There are no words for what can happen or occur. And if you think something happened or occurred, and there are no words for it, you're at a dead end. There's nothing where they force you. There's nothing where it matters. There's nothing like it anywhere. So it doesn't feel right to make things up, as you must do, to write fiction, to lie, to elaborate, to elongate, to exaggerate, to distort, to get tangled up in moderations or modifications or deviations or compromises of mixing this with that or combining this with this one with that one, because the problem is finding words for the truth, especially if no one will believe it, and they will not. I can't make things up. Because I wouldn't know after a while what's blood, what's ink. I barely know any words for what happened to me yesterday, which doesn't make tomorrow something I can conceive of in my mind. I mean words I say to myself in my own head, not social words you use to explain to someone else. I barely know anything. And if I deviate, I'm lost. I have to be literal. if I can remember, which mostly I cannot. No one will acknowledge that some things happen. And probably at this point in time, there's no way to say they do in a broad sweep. You describe a man forcing you, but you can't say he forced you. If it was a man, I could probably say it. I could say I did it, and everyone would think I made it up, even though I'd just be remembering what I did last night or 20 minutes ago or once long ago, but it probably wouldn't matter. The rapist has words, even though there's no rapist. He just keeps inventing rape. In his mind, sure. He remembers, even though it never happened. It's fine fiction when he writes it down. Whereas my mind is getting worn away. It's being eroded. Experience keeps washing over it. And there's no seawall of words to keep it intact, to keep it from being washed away. Carried out to sea, layer by layer, fine grains washed away, a thin surface washed away, then some more washed away. Fairly worn away, my mind washed out to sea. It probably doesn't matter anyway. People lead their little lives. There's not much dignity to go around. There's lies in abundance and silence for girls who don't tell them. I don't want to tell them. A lie's for when you gotta survive him being there until he goes. Malcolm X tried to stop saying a certain lie. And maybe I should change from Andrea, because it's a lie. It's just that it's a precious thing from my mother that she tried to give me. She didn't want it to be such an awful lie, I don't think. So I have to be the writer she tried to be. Andrea, not cunt. Only I have to do it so it ain't a lie. I ain't fabricating stories. I'm making a different kind of story. I'm writing as truthful as the man with his fingers. If only I can remember and say, but I ain't on his side. I'm on a different side. I'm telling the truth, but from a different angle. I'm the one he done it to. The bait's talking. Honey, if she can find the words and stay even barely alive, or just even keep the blood running, it can dry up. It can't rot. The bait's spilling the beans. The bait's going to transcend the material conditions of her situation. Fuck you very much, Mr. Marks. The bait's going way past Marks. The bait's taking her eviscerated, bleeding self, and she ain't putting it back together, darling. Because, frankly, she don't know how. The bait's a realist, babe. The bait's no fool. She's going to bleed all over you. And you are going to have to find the words to describe the stain. A stain as big as her real life, boy. A big, nasty stain. A stain all over you. All the blood you ever spilled. It's the aesthetic dimension. Through art, she replicates the others you done it to. Gets the stain to incorporate them, too. It's coming right back on you, sink or swim. Fucking drown your head in it. Give in, darling. Go down. That's the plan. In formal terms. The bait's got a theory. The bait's finding a practice, working it out. The bait's got to write it down. She don't have to use words. She'll make signs in blood. She's good at bleeding. The veins open, boys. Bait's got plenty. Each month more and more without dying for a certain long period of her life. She can use it or lose it or use it. She works in broad strokes. She makes big gestures, big signs. Oh, and honey, there's so much bait around. There's going to be a bloodbath in the old town tonight. When the new art gets its start, you are going to be sitting in it. The new novel. Participation, it's called. I'm smearing it all over you. It ain't going to be made up. It ain't going to be a lie. And you are going to pay attention. Directly. Even though it's by a girl. Because this time it's on you. If I find a word, I'll use it. But I ain't waiting, darling. I already waited too long. If you was raised a boy, you don't know how to get the blood off. You're shocked, surprised in Vietnam when you see it for the first time. And I've been bleeding since I was 9. I'm used to putting my hands in it, and I live. You don't get to use no words for what's true, so now there's signs. A new civilization just starting now. Her name's not cunt. And she's just got to express herself. Say some this and that. Use what's there. Take what's hers. Her blood's hers. Your blood's hers. Here's the difference between us, sweet ass. I'm using blood you already spilled. Mine, hers, cunts. I ain't so dirty as to take yours. I don't confuse this new manifesto. There are sides. If he spills my blood, it's art. If I put mine on him, it's deeply not nice or good, or as they say, interesting. It's not interesting. There's a certain, shall we understate, distaste. It's bad manners, but not rude in an artistically valid sense. It's just not being the right kind of girl. It's deranged, but not in the Rimbaud sense. It's just not being Marjorie Morningstar, which is the height to which you may aspire, failed artist, but eventually fine homemaker. It's loony. Yes, it's got some hate in it somewhere, but it ain't revolutionary, like Sod who spilled blood with style. Perhaps they think a girl can't have style, but since a girl can't really have anything else, I think I can pull it off. Me and the other bait. There's many styles of allure around. Huey Newton's my friend, and I send 10% of any money I have to the Black Panthers instead of paying taxes because they're still bombing the fucking Vietnamese, if you can believe it. He sends me poems and letters of encouragement. I write him letters of encouragement. I'm afraid to show him any of my pages. I wrote because he's not entirely cognizant of the problems, aesthetic and political, I face. I look for signs in the press if he's decent to women, but there's not too much to see, except you have to feel some distrust. He's leading the revolution right now, and I think the bait's got to have a place in it. I'm saying to him that women, too, got to be whole, and old people cared for, and children educated and fed, and women not raped. I say, not raped. I say it to him. Not raped. He's saying the same thing back to me in his letters, except for the women part. He's very Mao in his poem style, because it helps him to say what he knows, and gives him authority. I can see that. It makes his simple language look strong and purposeful, not as if he's too educated. It's brilliant for that, whereas I am more lost. I can't cover up that I don't have words. I can't tell if raped is a word he knows or not, if he thinks I am stupid to use it or not, if he thinks it exists or not, because we are polite and formal and encouraging to each other, and he doesn't say. I'm working my part out. He's taking care of the big overall picture, the big needs, the great thrust forward. I am a fine fit of rebellion and melancholy, and he thinks that a lot's possible, so I am in a passion of revolutionary fire with the new aesthetic boiling in me, except for my terrible times. The new aesthetic started out in ignorance, in ignominy, in sadness and forgetting. It pushed past sadness into an overt rebellion. Tear this down. Tear this apart. And it went on to create. It said, we'll learn to write without words if it happened when we find a way to say so. And if it happened to us, it happened. For instance, if it happened to me, it happened. But I don't have enough confidence for that, really, because maybe I'm wrong. Or, how do you say it? But if it happened to us, you know, the ones of us that's the bait, then it happened. It happened. And if it happened, it happened. We will say so. We will find a way to say so. We will take the blood that was spilled and smear it in public ways, so it's art and politics and science, and fishermen won't like the book, so what's new? He'll say it ain't art, or he'll say it's bullshit, but here's the startling part. The bait's got a secret system of communication. Not because it's hidden, but because the fisherman's fucking stupid. So arrogant, so sure of forever and a day, so sure. He don't listen, and he don't look, and he says it ain't, oh shit, please don't, oh god. Hi, I love you, hi. Oh my god. I'm on a plastic bubble, and he's got the most enormous claws ever. They're magnificent, and I hope my bubble's okay. And he thinks that means it ain't anything, whereas what it means is that we finally can invent a new alphabet first, big letters, proud new letters from which will come new words for old things, real things, and the bait says what they are and what they mean. And then we get new novels in which the goal is to tell the truth. Deep truth. So make it all up. The whole new thing, to be able to say what's there, because they're keeping it hidden now. You're not supposed to write something down that happened. You're supposed to invent. We'll write down what happened. and invent the personhood of who it happened to. We'll make a language for her so we can tell a story for her in which she will see what happened and know for sure it happened, and it mattered. And the boys will have to confront the new aesthetic that tells them to go suck eggs. I'm for this idea, energized by it. It's clear that if you need the fisherman to read the book, his critical appreciation, as it were, this new art ain't for you. If he's got what he did to you written on him, or close enough to him, rude enough to him, is he different? Will he know? I say he'll have to know. It's the brilliance of the medium. He's it, the vehicle of political and cultural transcendence, as it were. It's a new, forthright communication. It took the words, but they left your arm, your hand, so far at least it could change. But for now, he's the living canvas. He can refuse to understand, but he cannot avoid knowing. It's your blood. He spilled it. You've used it. On him. We'll make it new. It paid the fuckers. Then, he can be human or not. He's got a choice, which is more than he ever gave. He can put on the uniform, honest. Literal, Nazi or not. The clue is to see what you don't have as the starting place, and you look at it straight, and you say, what does it give me? Not what does it take. You say, what do I have, and what don't I have? And I am making certain presumptions about what I need that are, in fact, their presumptions. So much garbage in my way, and if I got rid of the garbage, what then? Would I see? And could I use it, and how, and when? I got hope. I have faith. I see it falling. I see it ending. I see it bent over and hitting the ground. And what's even better is that because the fisherman ain't going to listen, as if his life depended on it, we got a system of secret communication so foolproof no scoundrel could imagine it, so perfect, so pure. The less we are, the more we have. The less we matter, the more chance we got. The less they care, the more freedom is ours. The less, the more, you see. Is the basic principle. It's like psychological jiu-jitsu, except applied to politics through a shocking aesthetic. You use their ignorance against them. Ignorance is a synonym in such a situation for arrogance, and arrogance is tonnage, and in jiu-jitsu you use your opponent's weight against him, and you do it if you're weak or poor too, because it's all you have. And if someone doesn't know you're human, they're a goddamn fool. And they got a load of ignorance to tip them over with. You ain't got literature, but you got a chance. You understand? A chance. You got a chance because the bait's going to get it. And there's going to be a lot of wiggling things jumping off God's stick. I live in this real fine, sturdy tenement building made out of old stone. They used to have immigrants sleeping in the hallways for a few pennies a night, so all the toilets are out in the halls. They had them stacked at night, men sleeping on top of each other and women selling it or not having a choice. Tenement prostitution, they called it in the books. How the men piled in the halls to sleep, but the women had to keep putting out for money or food. They did it standing up. Now you walk through the hall hoping there's no motherfucker with a knife waiting for you, especially in the toilets. If you have to pee, you are scared. And if you have to shit, it is fully frightening. I go with a knife in my hand. Always. And I sleep with the knife under my pillow. Always. I have not had a shit not carrying a knife since I came here. I got a bank account. I'm doing typing for stupid people. I don't like to make margins, but they want margins. I think it's better if each line is different, if it flows like a poem, if it's uneven and surprising and aesthetically nice, but they want it like it's for soldiers or zombies, everything lined up left and right with hyphens breaking words open just in the right places, which I don't know where they are. I type, I steal but less now, really as little as possible. I will be a prisoner in a circle of hell. Oh, wait. When I have any money in my pocket, I do truly leave great chunks of it. And when I am older and rich, I will be a profligate. And if I ever go broke in my old days, it will be from making it up to every waitress alive in the world. But this generation's getting fucked up unavoidably. Someday I will write a great book with the lines moving like waves in the sea, flowing as much as I want them. I'm Andrea is what I will find, a deep way to express in honor of my mama who thought it up, a visionary, though the vision couldn't withstand in the political sense. I make little amounts of money, and I put them in the bank each day. I go to the bank for $5, except sometimes I go for except sometimes I go for 2 days on $7. I wait in line and the tellers are very disturbed that I have come for my money. It's a long walk to the bank. It's far away because there aren't any banks in the neighborhood where I live. And it's a good check on me because it keeps me from getting money for frivolous things. I have to make a decision and execute it. When an emergency occurs, I am in some trouble. But if I have $5 in my pocket, I feel I can master most situations. I went to unlock the 2 locks on my door to my apartment, and the first lock just crumbled. Little metal pieces fell as if it was spiders giving birth. All the little ones falling out of it. It just seemed pulverized into grains, and it was just crushed to sand. The whole cylinder of the lock just collapsed almost into molecules. And the second lock just kept turning around and around, but absolutely nothing locked or unlocked. And then there was this sound of something falling, and it had fallen through the door on the other side, just fell out of the door. It was night, and even putting the chain on didn't help. I sat with my knife and stared at it all night to keep anyone from breaking in. The crisis of getting new locks made me destitute and desperate, and on such occasions, I had to steal. I always considered it more honorable to myself than fucking. Less honorable to who I did it to. It was new to pick me over them. I just knew I'd live longer stealing than fucking. Of course I stole from the weak. Who doesn't? I had thought fucking for money was stealing from the strong, but it only robbed me. Although I can't say of what, because there's more wordlessness there. More what's never been said. I'm not formulated enough to get at it. I had a dog someone dumped on me, saying they were going to have it killed. It was so fine. You can weave affirmation back. There can be a sudden miracle of happiness. My dog was a smiling, happy creature. I thought of her as the quintessential all-American. Someone wholly extroverted with no haunted insides, just this cheerful, big, brilliant creature filled with licks and bounces, and I loved what made her happy. A stick, a stone. I mean, things I could actually provide. I think making her happy was my happiest time on earth. She was big. She bounced. She was brown and black. She was a German Shepherd, and she didn't have any meanness in her. Just play. Just jump. Just this joy. She didn't have a streak of savagery. If there was a cockroach in the apartment, a small one because we didn't have the monsters, she'd stand up over it and she'd study it a while, and then she'd pick it up in her mouth and she'd carry it to her corner of the room and she'd put it down and just sit on top of it. She'd be proud and she'd sit with her head held high while the awful little thing would crawl out from under her and get lost in some crack in the wall. You ever seen a proud dog? They have this look of pride that could break your heart, like they'd done something for you, the equivalent of getting you out from under an avalanche, and they're asking nothing in return. Just that look and the aquiline dignity of their souls. I gotta say, I loved her more than my heart could bear. And we'd go on walks to the park, but the park near me was full of broken glass and winos and junkies, and I was afraid for her, that she'd hurt her feet. You couldn't really let her run or anything. She ate a lot, and I didn't, but I felt she had certain rights, because she depended on me, or someone. She had to. So I felt I had to feed her, and I felt I had to have enough money. And I felt her life was in my hands, and I felt her life was important, and I felt she was the nicest, most kind creature I ever knew. She'd sit with me and watch the door, and when the locks fell apart, but she didn't grasp it, and I couldn't count on her sense of danger because it wasn't attuned to the realities of a woman's life. Someone might be afraid of her, or not. Someone might hurt her. I'd die if they hurted her. I'd probably have thrown myself onto her to protect her. I couldn't bear the thought of someone hurting her. Her name was Gringo, because the man who had her named her wasn't a fine, upstanding citizen. He was a degenerate, and I was afraid he would hurt her. And I was afraid she would die. And I think there's nothing worse than knowing an animal is being hurt except for a child, which I thank God I don't have one. Even though my husband would have taken it away from me, I know. If something's in your charge, and it must love you, then if something cruel to happen to it must shatter your heart to pieces, by which I mean the pain is real, and it is not made better by time. Because the creature was innocent,